Here we are.
Are we on?
We're on.
Hi, happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
This is Michelle Plazik, Remax Realty Advantage, and this is
Kim Malden, Remax Realty Advantage.
Today we are here to talk about credit scores.
Woo, woohoo. Gosh, we are more chipper than we were just like 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, we were laughing about that.
Okay, so we were going to talk about credit scores today and why they're important, what it is about them that is true and untrue, and all that good jazz.
Mm-hmm. So basically, if you want to get a mortgage these days, everything is based off of your credit scores.
Yes.
If you haven't gotten a mortgage in a while, this is a little different than it was, say, 15 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is based off of that credit score, including what kind of an interest rate you might get as a mortgage, for a mortgage.
Yep.
The better your credit score, of course, the better your rate.
Yep, absolutely.
And so the most perfect score that you could possibly get is 850.
Ooh, okay.
Correct.
Well, I don't have one of those, so I don't know if you're right or not.
So the closest you can get to that, the better.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, all you need to get a mortgage is 620.
620. There are some lenders out there that will go lower than that, but you're gonna pay for that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a lot less expensive to take the 6 months and spend a few $100s and cleaning up your credit report than financing a much higher interest rate over 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
That is a big chunk of change right there. So if you have a 580, you're not far off. So I really recommend that you clean that credit score up. And before you go doing things to your credit report, talk to a lender. We get on Credit Karma and freecreditscore.com and whatever else. And, they give you a credit score that is just a very surface level, what am I looking for?
I don't know.
They're looking at it just the top surface. They're not digging deep. So when you go to a mortgage lender, they're going to dig deep, and their score is going to be different than what you see on Credit Karma or freecreditscore.com. So before you go cleaning things up on your own, talk to a mortgage lender so that they can kind of give you an idea of where you are and maybe what you can do to help build up your score.
Mm-hmm. The mortgage lenders look at all three of the credit reporting entities, which are TransUnion, Experian,
and Equifax.
Mm-hmm. So they're going to look at all three of them, and they're going to take an algorithm of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, Kim is definitely right. You definitely want to talk to a lender before you go messing with your credit score. You think, oh, let me go pay this credit card off. It's only, maybe I only have a $600 balance.
Yeah.
Well, that could be detrimental to what you're trying to accomplish. You might take that $600 and spread it out against your credit cards, which would be better than paying one off.
Exactly.
And it really just depends on how that all looks with your particular information. They do look at a variety of credit. So the more different types of credit you have, the higher your score will be. Mm-hmm. For example, if all you have is credit cards and no car payments or other kind of revolving loans, you might not have as good of a score, or you might have better of a score. It just depends. So you need to talk to that lender, and you need to have a variety of different types of credit out there.
Yeah. And
never have too much on one card, of course.
You want to keep them all below 30% of what their max limit is.
Some people think, well, let me go run out there and get like a lot of the store credit cards.
Oh, those are the worst.
Those are the worst.
Oh.
So what lenders like to see, what mortgage lenders like to see, are Visa and MasterCards and Discover cards, the major, what are those called?
Major credit cards.
Major credit cards. As opposed to
Macy's,
having like
Dillard's,
JCPenney's.
Conn's is a bad one.
And the more of those that you have, the worse off it is.
Yes, yes.
So, but before you go closing any of them, talk to your
that.
lender.
Yeah.
Always talk to your lender.
Yeah, one of the things they look at is the length of credit history that you have, and they're looking for specifically the longest open account you've had.
Mm-hmm.
So don't go closing things until you talk to a lender. That's a biggie. And then, a lot of people think, well, I don't have credit cards, but I've always paid my rent on time. Well, you paid it on time, and that's terrific. But because you paid it on time, nobody reported you to the credit bureaus. So that's not building your credit. Now, if you don't pay your rent, you might get reported to the credit bureaus, and that's going to take you down a notch. But so if you don't have credit cards or credit debt and you want to buy a house, you have no credit score, well, then what do you do?
We have to establish some credit.
Or Dave Ramsey says you don't have to establish credit.
Well,
there
are some lenders.
Yes, there are some lenders out there that will do what's called manual underwriting. But you have to have a big chunk of change to put down on your mortgage. So 20%. And then you've got to be looking at a 15-year mortgage or less. So you're not going to get a 30-year mortgage for 3.5% down. So that's, and I did find one of our lenders who does do a manual underwriting. But they're going to ask you for all of your income, all of your checking statements. They want to see that you really have been living all that time without credit and that you've been living with your head above water.
So not having any bills cannot really play very well for you if you're trying to get a mortgage. And I know that whole Dave Ramsey thing is wonderful to try to attain. However,
it's
when
not that realistic.
It isn't realistic when it comes to buying a mortgage.
Yeah.
And you have to have some kind of a credit score. Unfortunately, that's where we're at these days.
It really is.
Everything is based off of credit score.
Yeah.
So you can go out and get what they call a secured credit card, which basically is like a debit card.
Yeah.
Because you take some of your own money, you go to the bank and you say, I want to buy a secured credit card. It's labeled as a credit card, and you pay your $500 or $1,000, and it's like a debit card.
Yeah.
You have that $1,000, and then you're going to be able to use that, and that's your money, so you're using it, and you use it on a regular basis. If you use that for 3 months in a row, you'll be able to establish some credit.
Right.
Put it on, put some money on, take it off.
Yeah.
And the best thing to do when you're doing that is to just make small charges and then pay it off.
Right. Like I tell my folks, go put $20 in gas on your card and then pay it off. When it's paid off, go put $20 again and pay it off. Hey, Carrie, she wants to know if you're still alive.
Yeah, we are.
So she made it through the flu. She's still alive. So if you need a secured credit card, yes, go to the bank and then just do a small something each month, but pay it off each month. So that way creditors can see, okay, you're being responsible with that credit card, and you're not going
and
out
actually, I had heard that not to pay it completely off, but to pay it off, like if you put $100 on, pay $95 of it. So always leave a small balance, because it's that utilization that they like to see. They want to see that you're using it and that you are. The whole idea for credit card companies is that you are going to, their goal, of course, is that you're going to keep credit, and that so that you will get charged interest,
right,
so that you'll pay them.
Yeah.
And they don't like it when you're paying it off every month and you're not paying them anything. So that tends to change your credit score.
And they do still get paid for when you use the card. Whoever you use the card with, whether it's at HEB or Valero or Dillard's, they get a portion of that transaction. So, yes, they want you to rack up a lot of debt and then have a high interest that you owe them, but at the same time, they do get paid in other ways. So,
are there any questions out there about credit scores in general?
No.
I don't know what else we can talk about, actually.
I think there are a lot of things when we look at our credit report that we think are going to be beneficial to our score that really are not. So I guess the one big thing that I don't think we can stress enough is talk to the lender first to see what you need to do. Because just like Michelle said, that $600 that you could throw at one credit card and paying it off may very well be better spent in other ways as far as your overall credit goes. So don't go fixing things on your own. Talk to the professionals. I mean, that's what they do for a living. That's their everyday thing. So talk to the pros before you go trying to fix things and don't know how.
Of course, the worst thing that affects your credit score are late payments. Those late payments are with you for 7 years.
Yes.
And that
and then
just
some.
never comes off. It's just like forever.
Yes.
The longer you are, like if you're at 6 years, 9 months, it's going to help, but still 7 years, it's still there, and it's a derogatory payment.
Here's the thing. If you have something that someone put on your credit report, they can report it every year for that 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you paid it off in year 1, they can still report it from year to year for 7 full years, which means it's a total of 14 years, which I think is insane. But they can do that.
Mm-hmm.
So really those late payments and unpaid accounts, if you've got them, get them taken care of before they start reporting once a year.
Yeah, and if your credit score is low because of you've had a hard time in your life, lots of times we see a lot of people who are going through a divorce, and so whenever that happens, there's a lot of bad things that go on with credits.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So it can really get messed up. And if that's your situation and you've got a low credit score because of that, call us. We've got some credit repair people that will really work with you and help you get your credit score up.
And it's not like a 3-year plan and you got to send them X number of dollars every single month. We've got some really good folks that they look at your score and they just take little bits and pieces and say, okay, we're going to tackle 1, 2, and 3 and see where it gets us.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times that works and it doesn't cost an arm and a leg. Yeah. There was something else I was going to say and now I've just forgotten what it was. Oh, darn. Okay.
So I guess that's all I have to say about credit
scores.
scores.
Well, and I think I think that's about our time. So we're over time. Anyway, so everybody have a great week. If you have questions about your credit score and you want to ask, feel free to send us a message or post it on our wall. Just send us a message.
Is there anything happening over there? Because I can't see.
Carrie was asking if you were still live.
Oh, I'm still live.
So, and hi from Greece. Okay, hey Greece, great, beautiful place. So let's work on our credit scores. Maybe we can afford a vacation
to Greece.
There we go. All right, y'all have a great week. Bye.
How do you say bye in Greek?
I have no idea. Maybe Mike will let us know. How do you say bye in Greek?